Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, AR the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about why pedophile Elliot Forhan, who is a Democrat state rep here in Ohio, needs to be expelled from office, not only for the pro-pedo legislation he's been pushing for over 6 months now, but also for all the other shit he's done recently. Not to mention that every other Democrat in the General Assembly currently also needs to be kicked the fuck out at this point for deprivation of rights of law, for oath breaking, etc., for all the gun control that they've tried to push in the past year or two now. So basically, for those that don't know, Elliot Forhan, he's a douchebag who was sworn in less than a year ago here in Ohio. He won, and I use that term loosely, a super blue gerrymander congressional district in the Cleveland area, of which they have like 10 or 11 up there. If we actually had one county, one rep laws in this state, you wouldn't even have this motherfucker in office at all, because he would have had to face off against another, 9 or 10 other Democrats would have been. And you would have one douchebag from Cleveland area, aka Cuyahoga County, that would have actually been representing that entire county. But instead, you have Democrats gerrymander like a motherfucker, use a bunch of, extra seat, get a bunch of extra seats, these major cities and stuff like that, and act like they hold real power in this state at all, which they don't, by the way. If we actually have one rep laws on the books right now, they would hold roughly about 8 or 9 seats in this entire General Assembly out of the, 88 that would then exist. And you would then have, the other 88 or the other 70 plus of them at that point, either be Republican, Libertarian, Green Party, whatever the case be. A lot of independents, most likely. A lot of constitutionalists like myself would probably be in there at that point, honestly. So, anyway, basically, and the reason I started out by saying that Forhan is pro-pedo, is potentially a pedophile at this point, is because in the last year, less than the last year, actually, about the last 10 months or so since he's been in office, has openly signed on to legislation that would make child luring into vehicles okay in the state of Ohio. Ironically enough, Abduli, one of the two piece of shit Islamic terrorists in our General Assembly currently, was also on that legislation, and he's basically going into it with her the other day, and that's the last thing that happened most recently. Here's what it is. We're going to talk about that here in a minute, though. So, yeah, it's funny to me that you have, like, leftists versus leftists at this point, and it seems like the ironic thing about this whole thing is that Forhan himself is going after these people based on the whole Israel-Hamas ongoing war is what it is right now, which I don't know if he's backing Israel or not at this point. It seems like he is, but then he's like, it's almost like he's taken both sides at that point somehow in these fights with people and stuff like that, including his own constituency at that point in history, So it's kind of funny. I'd also like to point out, by the way, to anybody that wants to recall this motherfucker, you can legally do that in the state of Ohio, dude. It's called Article 1, Section 2 of the Ohio Constitution. You have every legal right to remove these people from office. You just simply get enough signatures, and you file the actual signature motion to get them thrown out of office is what it is then. And you would have a recall vote basically done at that point, and you'd be able to then either run against them for that seat of power yourself, or you'd be able to just throw them out at that point and have somebody else elected in that position is what it would be then. So it's something we've talked about doing in the past with many of these people entirely. And yeah, I think it's time people start doing it against Forhan, against Abduli, against all of them at this point, dude. Juanita Brent, Allison Russo specifically. And I find it very interesting, too, by the way. You have scumbag piece of shit Allison Russo, who's the Democrat minority leader right now in the state of Ohio. This fucking stupid cunt has the audacity to basically talk about Forhan's most recent, trials, tribulations, etc. there. Meanwhile, her dumbass is literally taking bribes from Moms Main Action the last couple years here, and should have been booted out of our General Assembly back in 2021 when she did so. And that was just one that we know of, by the way. That was just the one that they actually kind of camera that we know about. We don't know how many others she's actually taken at this point, because I'm assuming it's at least once a year she's taking that shit, if not more than once a year for that matter. So, by the way, I do want to apologize for not doing shows last week. I've been very painful in the last few days. Here's what it is over the week and stuff like that. The weather changes in Ohio, because our weathers do change. The stuff here is what it is, and we got this real weird cold snap, and then it kind of heated up a little bit here, and now we're going to get another cold snap here going to Thanksgiving, and yeah, it just plays havoc with my joints is what it is. So inflammation in the joints is not a fun thing, man, and that's pretty much what I was doing Thursday, Friday, and Saturday when I was supposed to be doing Buckshot Thursday, Freedom Friday, and Stand Your Ground Saturday shows. So sorry to anybody that was trying to watch shows on here on this channel for streams and stuff, but yeah, I wasn't about it, dude. My whole body was hurting so badly those 3 days, and it's basically the reason why I didn't do anything. So, but yeah, we'll be back this week though. I don't know about that actually. I'm not sure if we'll do a special on Thanksgiving or not. I don't because I just realized that Thursday would be Thanksgiving, so I don't know if we'll do Buckshot Thursday on Thanksgiving or not. I don't think we will. Mostly because I'm just gonna be hanging out and doing well. I mean, technically, I'm supposed to do anything with some family, but then it's like I'm probably gonna be here at the house, is what it is. So it's like I might be able to do one then if I really wanted to, but then again, it's like, do I really want to do that or not? And it's like, maybe not. I will do Freedom Friday on Black Friday though, and the same thing with Stand Your Ground Saturday coming back, Small Business Saturday and stuff like that. So anyway, but yeah. So to go on and talk about the stuff, we got a couple different articles here. We got we're gonna try to zip through these very quickly if we can because I don't have a whole lot of time I can do this today. But yeah, we got this from Columbus Dispatch. Ohio House Speaker Jason Stevens calls for investigation into Democrat accused of hostile behavior. Dude, Forhan just looks like a fucking nut. Like, honestly, the interesting part about it is, dude, if I was to look at somebody and be like, this dude's probably a terrorist for Islam in this country, like, motherfucking Elliot Forhan would be that guy right there, dude. Seriously, I'm not even kidding around. So, anyway. So the Cleveland area House Democrat is facing investigation after he accused of hostile and erratic behavior towards constituents, staff, and his fellow representatives. Attorney General Dave Yost said Monday that his office appointed outside counsel to examine the conduct of Representative Elliot Forhan, a Democrat from South Euclid, at the request of House Speaker Jason Stevens. The move comes days after top Democrats stripped Forhan of his committee appointments due to a, quote, continued pattern of harassment, hostility, and intimidation. Stevens also suspended Forhan's badge access to the Ohio State House and RAF Center. That says something, by the way, because I'm pretty sure that means you can't get into office right now to actually do anything with legislation on the House floor and shit. So it's just like, instead of having like 32 Democrats is what it is now, you got 31 now that can get into power. That's kind of fucked up, man. It says ultimately, hostility, profanity, and dangerous, violent remarks have unfortunately been the hallmark of Forhan's tenure. And the House Representative said Minority Leader Allison Russo of Arlington wrote in a memo to House Democrat leaders. Says Forhan is serving his first term representing Ohio House District 21 in eastern Cuyahoga County. He first came under fire after a May committee hearing when he clashed with a cosmetologist in his district over legislation that would, quote, eliminate training for boutique services. In her memo, Russo said Forhan made disparaging comments about the constituent and engaged in shouting, finger pointing, and finger snapping. So he went full leftist and was like, what the fuck, dude? Again, this is why we need to have automatic disqualification from office right now, dude. Because both Russo and Forhan should be fucking gone, period. Like, that's the entire point of the matter. You have these insane leftist nuts, dude. And I swear to God, the Democrat Party of Ohio, dude, has gone psychotically to the left at this point. They were already fucking insane leftist gun-grabbing pieces of shit in 2019 when I got involved in this fucking fight here for 2A rights. And they've gotten even more psychotic 4 years later now, dude. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if Forhan was fucking Antifa without the mask on right now, dude. And I mean that shit seriously. I wouldn't be surprised if this fucking cocksucker was literally out there during the 2020 riots doing terrorist shit in the Cleveland area. So it would make all kinds of sense, dude, because he's pulling like the old leftist tricks is what it is, dude. The finger snapping, the finger pointing, the shouting, the engaging, etc., etc. there. Anyways, his Democrat leadership sanctioned Forhan and required him to complete implicit bias training. So basically, anti-white racism is what they're talking about there, is what it is. Like, oh, you're such a masculine male. You can't be a fucking white masculine male. Like, that's what that shit really is, honestly, dude. So which culminated in a public apology. Russo said Forhan's demeanor during counseling was, quote, erratic, and at times he refused to accept responsibility for his actions. Oh, so like a typical leftist child is what you mean, Russo? That's what you're talking about, you stupid bitch? Anyway, damn it, quit going to another fucking article, you assholes. Anyway, let's see, where is that now? Yeah, so that was only the first interaction or incident involving Forhan, according to Russo's memo. Among the allegations, said over the summer, Forhan arrived unannounced at the house of a female state lawmaker who was at a May committee hearing. I'm assuming this is Juanita Brent, and the reason I bring up her name is because it's one of these ones that said something about how I think it was a Cleveland.com article that I found earlier, was saying something about how he showed up to it said something about, I guess, their security now for Brent's ass, which is kind of ironic, given the fact that these fucking leftist douchebags in the state of Ohio's General Assembly want to have armed security for themselves while trying to strip the rest of us of our Second Amendment rights with red flag laws, universal background checks, and all kinds of other bullshit that stupid fucking cunts like Juanita Brent have actively been trying to push for the past 3 to 4 General Assemblies now. Yeah, fuck you, bitch. And fuck the rest of the piece of shit Democrats that are a bunch of oath-breaking cunts in this General Assembly should have been out of office already and in Ohio prison currently for deprivation of the court of law. Anyway, it said, claimed that Forhan threatened suicide multiple times or told others to kill him, including during a meditation session with Equality Ohio, which, by the way, is a pro-pedophile network of a bunch of quilt bag mafia fuckers that call themselves LGBTQ, etc. there. So, said session came about after Forhan was, quote, inappropriate and disrespectful to some with the LGBTQ rights organization. Dude, I can't help but laugh. Again, this is the left eating itself, by the way. I just want to point that whole thing out. This is the left eating itself, legitimately, people. Anywho, let's see. It said Forhan intimately called Israel's response to Hamas's attack a war crime, but he later began toting pro-Israel positions because he believed organizations in his heavily Jewish district would work to replace him. That's what it is. Okay, so this dude is fucking pro-Hamas, dude. This dude is fucking pro-Hamas, and then took a pro-Israel stance because he knew he's about to get replaced. Jesus fuck, that makes so much sense now, dude. And the reason I say that, obviously, is because I called his ass out here on Twitter about an hour ago, give or take. Because he's trying to call Elon Musk and Tucker Carlson anti-Semites, which is a complete bunch of BS, dude. And again, Forhan is a fucking joke, dude. He is a fucking scumbag. He is every douchebag leftist ever in this country who will sit there and tell you everything you fucking want to hear just to maintain that little grasp of power is what it is. And that's the problem with these fucking people entirely, dude. And that's exactly what we need a 20th Amendment to the Constitution at this point. That would be an auto DQ of these fuckers from office at this point in history, dude. So, anyway. Let's see here now. Said House staff expressed concern about an Israeli flag that Forhan placed outside his office, which is next to the office of a Muslim representative, being that piece of shit Abduli. So House Democrats' chief of staff asked Forhan whether he'd consider moving it inside his office, and Forhan did so, but then posted a video on social media blasting the conversation. So last week, Forhan screamed at Representative Marina Abduli, who, by the way, is not a Columbus native. She is a fucking Somali native that piece of shit John Kasich brought into this fucking country illegally into the state of Ohio under his bullshit fucking governorship when that fucking cunt Obama was still president, when he had 300,000 fucking Somalis or so forced in the state of Ohio, and that asshole Kasich is like, yeah, bring him into the Columbus area. And that's exactly how Mohammed got here, and that's exactly how Abduli got here, by the way. They are not fucking legal citizens of this country. They are fucking foreign nationals illegally sitting in the Ohio General Assembly, the same exact way that fucking cunt Ilhan Omar is illegally sitting in Congress right now as a fucking foreign national. And it's exactly why fucking foreign nationals like that, specifically cult of Islam fucking followers, should never be allowed to hold an office in this country ever, 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 because there should be a fucking ban on Islam, period, across the fucking nation, based on our founding fathers' documentation of Islam being the fucking enemy like it was over 7 fucking centuries ago during the Crusades. Which, by the way, for those who don't know, we have never actually ended the Crusades in this country or any of these fucking nations, whether it be England fighting, Islam back in the 12th, 13th century, etc. there, dude, because shocker, Islam was too powerful back then. We never got to deal with it back then during the Crusades. Every single modern-day terrorist attack by Islam is nothing more than a modern-day crusade. And it's as simple as that, really. Same thing with Hamas and Israel right there. Same thing with everything else like that, dude. So, anyway. Let's see here now. Yeah, so Forhan screamed at Abduli while the two were alone in a committee room. So Abduli criticized Forhan's flag video, noting that it targeted a staff member and could have put the person at risk. After learning what happened, Democrat leaders dispatched the House Sergeant at Arms in case Forhan became violent. Okay, that's fucking hilarious, by the way. So again, even more hypocrisy from the gun-grabbing Democrats here, dude. These fucking asscocks went there and got the only armed person, literally the fucking sergeant at arms who carries a gun in the General Assembly there, to be like, dude, you need to make sure that this dude doesn't become violent. If he does, you can shoot his ass, basically. Like, what the fucking fuck, man? Like, this is what I'm saying, dude. Like, this is the problem with hypocrite pieces of shit like that being in office right now, dude. For real. It only matters when it's... That's the thing, too, by the way. It only matters to them when it's their personal safety at risk. It doesn't matter to them when it's their constituents that are the ones being killed by a bunch of fucking illegals in this country or a bunch of fucking violent-ass criminals, etc. there in their districts. And God forbid they fight back with a firearm. Anyway, tuning on here, it says, quote, I don't have the time or energy to duke it out over a flag, Abduli tweeted afterwards. My anger at Rep. Forhan was about his behavior towards our staff and airing them out on his public page. I won't stand for anyone treating our staff with anything less than the respect and dignity they deserve. What a fucking joke, dude. This is what Forhan says in a letter to Jason Stevens. Forhan cast the situation as a, quote, politicized matter within the Democrat caucus and said an investigation would be a waste of House resources. He also said he cares deeply about workplace safety and contends Russo's memo failed to prove that he harmed staff or created a reasonable apprehension of violent conduct. I struggle to understand, Mr. Speaker, why a committed Israeli supporter such as yourself would join an effort to silence a voice speaking in support of the cause, Forhan wrote. Dude, you are such a fucking lying sack of shit. You literally fucking said it to begin with, you asshole, that you were all fucking pro-Hamas to begin with this whole thing, and you're like, all these Jews in my fucking congressional district that are probably going to kick my ass out in some kind of recall election, here's what it's going to be. Maybe I should actually support Israel in the situation now. That's exactly what you fucking are, dude, Elliot Forhan. You're a fucking scumbag. You are a motherfucking piece of shit, leftist terrorist, just like the rest of them. You can go fuck yourself, asshole. Fucking douchebag. Such a lying fucking asswipe, dude. Anyways, this Forhan also questioned why Stevens revoked his badge access and reassigned a legislative aide when the same actions weren't taken against former Representative Bob Young. Young, a Republican, convicted of domestic violence for hitting his wife over the summer and pled guilty to multiple charges and violating order of protection. Okay, so here's the big difference between that and you, buddy, is that Bob Young was at home when he did all these things, you fucking dumbass. He got into a situation, pretty sure him and his wife were both drunk, by the way, when he smacked her around. By the way, he's since been expelled from the General Assembly, asshole. Something you, sir, should also have done to you at this point. The difference between him and you, Elliot, is that Bob actually did the due diligence there, and it's you being a hypocrite, Forhan, when you're sitting there bitching about Bob's ass and his actions, when you're doing the exact same shit. The only difference is that he did it at home. You're doing it at the fucking workplace, which, by the way, happens to be the place that my fucking tax dollars and every other Ohio's tax dollars go to pay your fucking salary, you fucking cunt. And that's another thing, too, by the way. That's another thing that needs to happen right now, honestly. And I'm going to say it like it is, dude. Every single fucking dollar that Elliot Forhan has stolen, I'm going to say it like it is, stolen from the American people right now in the state of Ohio for his fucking bullshit pay over the last 10 months needs to be fucking given to him needs to be literally sent as a debt collection to his fucking thing in a bill at this point. And be like, this is what you owe the state of Ohio, douchebag. And every single last cent of this is going to go back to the constituency is what it'll be then. That paid your fucking salary, you asshole. Because no, this fucker should not be allowed to walk away with like almost $60,000 something right now for a single year's pay right now. So, anyway. Let's see here now. Yes, as Young resigned from the House in October, Stevens removed Young from his committee leadership positions weeks after Young first arrested. Forhan declined to be interviewed for the story. Saying his letter speaks for itself. What a fucking asshole, dude. What a complete sack of shit in general, dude. Just like every other fucking Democrat, that's what I'm saying, man, for real. And then we got this one, basically, which is just more of what we just read, which is a Associated Press article that talks about Ohio lawmaker disciplined after alleged pattern of abusive behavior towards legislators and staff. And then it goes on to say the same differences here about vulgarity about Israel-Hamas war, representing a Jewish community area, claims to be Catholic, and then talks about Russo stuff. It was almost the exact same stuff here, except the other article went into more about it and whatnot. This is one thing they find interesting. This is one thing I'm going to read here is what it is. Yeah, it said Russo said Wednesday Forhan left Abduli visibly shaken after he yelled at her about children being killed by Israel during its current... Okay, this is one thing that's interesting, right? About children being killed by Israel during its current war with Hamas in Gaza, yet claims to be pro-Israel. You ain't pro anything, dude. You're pro-terrorist, buddy. You're fucking 100% pro-Gaza, buddy. You're 100% pro-Hamas terrorism, Elliot Forhan. And you fucking admitted it in the other article, you asshole. It says Forhan has already been under fire by Democrat leadership over his rhetoric about both Israel and Gaza on social media, including allegedly spreading misinformation and hostile conversations with constituents over the war, no matter which side they support. And that's where it comes to, man. That's exactly where it comes to. And I guarantee you, the fact that you've had, 10, 12, 14 of them, whatever the fuck it is, since October 7th, various rallies down at the Ohio State House area in the last, month and a half, give or take now. I almost guarantee if you look through video footage of various security cameras around that area, there ain't no way you're not going to find Elliot Forhan's ass in that crowd someplace being all pro-Palestine, dude. So, anyway, and that's the problem with these people, dude. They will out themselves very quickly as the real scumbag pieces of shit they actually are. You just give them time. You just give them a month or two and they'll do that thing for you. And that's what I'm saying. The fact that you have Forhan and Abduli both actually that are both part of something I've talked about in the past here, which was, as I said, and I'll say it again to begin with here, this is where we're going to leave off today's episode at, which is easier for evil people to commit crimes. Ohio Democrats push to amend state's child enticement laws, which is literally nothing more than luring kids in the cars is what it is. And who do we have on this? Oh, yeah, Elliot Forhan. Oh, yeah, Marina Abduli as two of the fucking reps on HB 148. So, yeah, these people are fucking scumbags, dude. They are sick, child molesting pieces of shit who need to be investigated for fucking child molestation at this point. Not just for the other shit they've done, dude. Not just for the gun grabbing they've done, not just for the other stuff they've done. Which, by the way, that all leads back to what we talked about before in this whole thing. Their fucking end game is disarmament, people. Their entire end game is to disarm you so that they can rape your fucking kids. Period. They can rape your children. They can fucking put your kids on hormone drugs. They can do all kinds of government tyranny. They can eventually become full-blown Hitler, Stalin, Mao, Pol Pot, every other dictator throughout history, and commit mass genocide against you and your fucking families. That's what the Democrats' endgame is at this point in history. And the only thing keeping those fuckers at bay is literally an armed citizenry, period. It's exactly why that fucking cunt Gretchen Whitmer up in Michigan signed some bullshit this morning about, oh, if you're convicted of misdemeanor domestic violence, now you have no more gun rights in the state of Michigan now. Which, by the way, is exactly what the Supreme Court is doing a case over currently. I don't know if it's actually gone through yet or not, but it's literally to decide one way or another if people that were convicted of misdemeanor shit like that still have 2A rights, which they should, by the way, because again, just because some bitch claims you hit her and she smacked herself around a little bit and gave herself a black eye or something like that, dude, to make it look good, to fucking frame you, to fuck you over, to fuck over your rights, etc., which is exactly why I hate red flag laws so much, by the way, because there's been so many goddamn instances of that shit happening right now in this country's history, including states like here in Ohio where we don't have them. But like I told you guys a story before with my old neighbor's brother-in-law, how he got fucked over almost with his gun rights there is what it was, because his ex-bitch was like, oh no, he totally hit me. And then her story kept changing to the point where the judge is like, no, give that man back his guns. Because they figured out she was a fucking liar about 4 or 5 times in the stand is what it was there. And she was committing all kinds of fucking, what's that terminology now? Something with a P, but it's basically lying under oath is what I'm talking about there. But yeah, so she basically, yeah, she was lying under oath. And that's the problem, though. You have so many places that do have red flag laws that'll sit there and lie their asses off, do ex parte hearings against people without their knowledge that they're even being red flagged and stuff like that. And you got the cops showing up at 2, 3 a.m. in these people's houses and stuff like that. Of course, somebody's going to go to the fucking, front door with a gun, or if it's like a break like Duncan Lep's situation there, you had fucking piece of shit, little SWAT team assholes literally kick this guy's fucking doors in, smashing his fucking windows, do full fucking SWAT team shit at him at 2, 3 in the morning is what it was, and then they wondered why he fucking pulled a gun. Because you think you're being fucking jacked, dude, is what it is. You think people are literally fucking breaking into your home is what it is. Of course you're gonna fucking pick up a gun and arm yourself is what it'll be then. It's fucking disgusting, dude. But of course, nobody ever talks about Duncan Lep's murder because shocker, it happened one day after that piece of shit Brown Taylor's did. Who, by the way, she was knee-deep in fucking drug shit at that point in history. She was also a hardcore criminal. She hated white people, by the way, for those who don't know about that one. And yeah, she was just a piece of crap in general. But yet, meanwhile, you got Duncan, innocent guy, pregnant girlfriend laying next to him in bed, fucking murdered in his fucking bed, basically, almost. Trying to protect his fucking family. And yet, nobody was fired for that one. No lawsuits came about that one. Media fucking black out of that shit. Except local stuff. It's just fucking disgusting, dude. I'm so sick and tired of the fucking race-based narrative of the mainstream media in this country's history right now, honestly. Where it's all like, boo, white man bad, fucking minority good kind of shit. That's what it is every single time, by the way, it seems like. It's like you never hear about the black on white attacks every single day in this country's history right now, where you got these fucking gangs of black kids beating the shit out of some white kid. Yet, meanwhile, God forbid, one black kid gets killed by the fucking white cop or whatever. And oh my God, it's fucking national news for 6, 7 weeks now. It's so disgusting, dude. It really is. And again, it goes back to something I've talked about on this channel many, many times over the years now. And it's literally a racial division in this country. They are trying to divide us by race. They are trying to divide us literally racially because they want a fucking race war to happen here. Because, if we actually came together and unified properly, and you had people in every single community this shit was happening in call out the fucking scumbaggery in their own communities, call it the criminality in their own communities and stuff like that, dude. We could actually come together, unify, and have a better country is what it is. And then know that the real pieces of shit in power right now are the fucking enemy and deal with them accordingly is what it is, Go and citizens arrest their asses, etc. There is what it would be then. For the felony crimes they've already committed is what it would be then. So, anyway, that's about it for the day, though. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I will be back. I might do another Grandstand tomorrow, actually, now I'm thinking about it. And then we'll do, I guess I'm not sure if we'll do Buckshot on Thursday or not. I don't think we will, just because it'll be, I don't know. Because if I'm going to be home alone, by myself and stuff like that, I might. Or if mom's just here or whatever the case be, it might just be like me and her and stuff like that. So it might just be one of those situations where I do have time on my hands. So it all depends. If I have time on my hands and stuff like that, and I'll just, I'm not doing anything or whatever the case be, maybe I will then for a half hour or something like that, like Thanksgiving special or something maybe. But yeah, we'll definitely do a Black Friday special for Freedom Friday then. And then we will do Stand Your Ground Saturday then, obviously, which, depending on what happens there, if it's going to be another situation like it was this past Saturday where NEA didn't bother doing a show at all then, I might just take over that, 8 o'clock-ish time slot or not. If not, I'm debating if I want to do it before or after his now because, again, he's been doing stuff recently where it's you'll have him and Honda and them basically do a second thing after that, 10:30, where I'm usually doing the Stand Your Ground stuff. So it might be one of those situations where I just do a 5 or 6 p.m. Stand Your Ground from now on or something like that. on Saturday afternoon, evening time period or whatever there for like an hour or something. So, yeah, it all really depends, man. It all really depends. But either way, that's pretty much over today. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Fuck Elliot Forhan. Fuck the Democrat Party in the state of Ohio. As I told Jason Stevens' office over 3 weeks ago now, remove them all from office, dude. Seriously. Every single person that is now trying to actively commit 10-day waiting periods has a Democrat next to their fucking name, which is all these fucking 20 assholes that are on that legislation, including that piece of shit Cecil Thomas. I'm pretty sure Elliot Forhan was also on that legislation, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, kick them all the fuck out of our General Assembly, dude. For real. Boot every single one of their fucking asses out of office right now. Do what is best for Ohio right now. I don't care if these asswipes did vote you into office or not, dude. Fuck them. Sorry, I was trying to see if I could find the waiting period legislation here. Damn it, where would it be at now? Okay, I know it was here sometime in the last couple weeks. It would have been a House legislation. Let's see here now. No, that wasn't it. All right, let me look this up real quick. Oh, by the way, I do want to mention this before we leave today. 2A sanctuary is on the table, boys. Even though Stevens claimed it was going to be a House floor vote the other day, it wasn't. It was actually a committee floor vote. It did pass favorably, though. It was on party lines, 7-4. So that's good. We will have a House floor vote here at some point before the end of the General Assembly this year. I'm hoping, honestly, it'll be they can just do it through both chambers real quick, and we can have it done before Christmas break happens then, and they can actually do it correctly then. And if that be the case, we could actually have it in the law by the time the shit gets done then. Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay. It's House Bill 309. It was on the 31st is when it was introduced, by the way. So, yeah, since October 31st, so the past 20 days or so, like I said, almost 3 weeks ago now, is when I called up Stevens' office, and I was like, hey, kick all these fuckers out of office then. Yeah, you got Cecil Thomas, Rachel Baker, Abduli, Blackspear, Brennan, Brent, Forhan, Galonsky, Grimm, Isaacson, Jarrells, Lightbody, Liston, McNally, Miller, Miranda, Mohammed, Robinson, Samani, and Weinstein. Gonna point out, dude, that Casey Weinstein, literally less than 1 month after I was federally swatted back in 2019, hate hoaxed himself, illegally using the USPS system to do so, which should have caught him multiple federal felonies, and it was never fucking investigated. That dude should be a federal felon right now. He shouldn't be in our General Assembly at all. Samani is a fucking literal child sex change doctor who should be in prison right now for crimes against humanity and a bunch of other shit. Mohammed is a fucking Islamic terrorist. Abduli's a fucking Islamic terrorist. Forhan, like we just talked about in the last half hour, is a complete piece of shit in general. Brent is the dumb bitch that he was actually at her house trying to get at her is what it was there. She's also a gun-grabbing sack of shit. Cecil Thomas was out of the General Assembly in 2022 from our state Senate after 8 fucking years from being termed out and literally just flip-flopped General Assembly illegally. This piece of shit, asshole ex-cop, oath-breaking fuckboy should have been out of office entirely last year. Rachel Baker and Michelle Grimm are both Moms of Main Action cunts. I mean that literally. They're fucking literal members of Moms of Main Action at this point. They shouldn't have allowed to hold like the office in this country ever because of that alone, because they're anti-gun or gun-grabbing pieces of shit. Tavia Galonsky's a BLM terrorist. You have Bullis Blackspear Jr. He's just a piece of shit in general. Sean Brennan is an ex-teacher who looks like a child molester, by the way. You also have, like I said, Forhan Abduli and some others here on this legislation that are also part of that legislation that would allow child enticement laws. So, yeah. It's like basically the entirety of this 20 people is like the rogues gallery of scumbaggery in this General Assembly, dude. Period in the story. They're all a bunch of fucking scumbag motherfuckers. They're all a bunch of oath-breaking cunts. They're all a bunch of deprivation of rights under color of law, committing assholes that should be in literal state prison right now for at least a few years of time and never allowed to hold office ever again in this country. So, but anyway, that's pretty much where we're at for the day, though. Like I said, hope you all enjoy this episode. I think it's fucking hilarious that the Democrats are now eating their own again. And like I said, it would be nice to see Elliot Forhan be the grenade that basically takes out the entire Democrat Party in the state of Ohio right now. Because that would be awesome, dude. And I think it's fucking hilarious that you have these far leftist douchebags who should have never been in office ever being in office now. And of course, you got Blaine Griffin, who's one of the biggest black supremacists in the state of Ohio right now in the Cleveland area there for the Cleveland City Council, who's bitching about racism there. And I think it has to do with Forhan is what it is there. And it's like, bro, you have pushed fucking black nationalist garbage every single day I've ever fucking heard you talk, bro. You have pushed anti-white racist rhetoric every fucking chance you have a chance to talk about it, etc., buddy. So if anybody should be resigning from office there, Blake Griffin, it should be your dumbass, dude. So that being said, he also backs Justin Bibbs' piece of shit ass for gun grabbing too up there in Cleveland area. So yeah, fuck both those guys is what it is, dude. Anyway, that's where we're at for the day. Hope you guys enjoy this episode. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow for another Grandstand. We'll maybe talk some more about this topic. I'm actually going to call up the various people in the State House tomorrow and see, hey, when are y'all going to get on the SOPA for a House vote? Then if that be the case, man. So anyway, that'll probably be most of tomorrow's episode. Will be about 2A rights and Second Amendment Preservation Act stuff and whatnot. So, but yeah, other than that, that's where we're at for the day. And like I said, depending if I feel like doing something on Thursday, we might do a special Thanksgiving Buckshot Thursday Thanksgiving edition or something. I don't know, depending. But mostly it'll just probably be me anyway, because I'm sure that Corey has his own thing to do on that day is what it is then. I doubt he'll be available for it. He'll probably be hanging out with family then or whatever. So, but anyway, who knows? But anywho, yeah, I'll be back though, like I said, tomorrow and then maybe Thursday, definitely Friday, and then definitely Saturday. So anyway, have a good one, y'all. Stay safe. Always be carrying. Make sure you're always carrying one in the chamber, because you never know when shit's going to go down, man. You always got to be ready. You always got to be ready to just pull, point, and shoot. You know, stand your ground every single day, every day of the week, everywhere you are, because you are your own first responder. There's never going to be a cop when you need one. There's never going to be somebody else to save your ass. You have to save your own ass in any kind of situation. Be ready at all times. Have situational awareness and do what needs to be done. And always, always, always fight for the Constitution. Fight for our Second Amendment rights. And do what needs to be done to kick oath breakers the fuck out of office. And it's as simple as that. Later, y'all.